Hello, everyone. So, you might have heard the Bank of Silicon Valley went bankrupt about a week ago. Today, I want to go over how that happened and, my thoughts on it. So, yeah, if you're interested in that, please watch all the way up to the end. So, Silicon Valley, just like any other bank, it started out small and eventually it turned out to be the number 16 biggest bank in the United States. If you guys know, Silicon Valley is in California and it's known for all the small startups and the big tech companies that are in there. So as you might imagine, there's a lot of companies such as Roblox and Etsy. That's just two examples. Unfortunately, those individuals are not able to withdraw since the um, FDIC only allows up to $250,000 in withdrawals. But let's get started with how this all came to be. I'm getting ahead of myself. So it all started when Silicon Valley Bank purchased bonds for a very low rate, almost practically zero for the long term. They spend millions of dollars. Most of their money, most of their depositors' money that they had, they spent it on this long term bonds, which is very safe in the long run. I mean, usually bonds are safe, but they the value of bonds can go down tremendously if interest rates are high, such as is the case now. So, as you guys might know, interest rates are about 7% right now, and they just keep putting them up, and we don't know like how high they're gonna go up to. So that affects the price of bonds tremendously. It makes the bonds very it makes the bonds lose a lot of value. So what happened was that the investors of Silicon Valley Bank, they heard of the news of this investment, and they know how bad bonds are right now. So a lot of them started panic selling on the stock market, and then that caused the company to lose billions of dollars. Eventually, they lost $1.8 billion, and this just created havoc in Wall Street. Everybody was selling the stock. Everybody was trying to withdraw their money, and this created a huge problem. The problem was that banks they do not carry all the money that they are supposed to have, or all the money that the people deposit, because like I said previously, a lot of these banks they use the money that we deposited into them, and they use it to invest and to grow their own business. So when we try and when everybody if everybody tried to go to their if everybody goes to a local bank right now and they try to withdraw like absolutely everything, the bank will not like be able to do that because they just do not have as much money as they should. Like if you guys know what I mean, like if you have $1,000, if you give the bank $1,000, they're gonna get like 50% of that, and they're gonna put it in a bond or whatever. So you can only take technically you can only take out 500. Well, this is a small example. Obviously, they're gonna have money from everyone, so you could obviously take more than 500. But like, let's say they just have your deposit, so they only have your deposit. So you put your deposit of $1,000. They're gonna take about 50, or I don't know like the exact numbers that they use, but they're gonna take some part of that and they're gonna invest it. So when if you go the next day and you're like, oh, actually I want my $1,000 back, they're gonna be like, we can't do that. We physically don't have the money. Or in the case of Silicon Valley Bank, even worse, they lost the money because of the bonds, and it went horrible for them. They lost $1.8 billion. So this just caused havoc again. Like I said, this caused havoc. Everybody was selling. Everyone was trying to get out of Silicon Valley Bank, and it just made everything worse. And I mean, you can imagine you have money that you work hard for, that you deserve, and you just simply can't take it out because the bank is going bankrupt and we're using your money for something else. Um, you might think that's unfair, or maybe you're gonna go insane after hearing this, and you're gonna want to take out all your money. But banks are the best alternatives. I mean, what are you gonna do? You're gonna put your money in the pillow. You're gonna put your money beneath a pillow or below the mattress. Like, that's not practical. You know, you could get robbed. Like, either way, you taking a risk. And one more thing before you go crazy after hearing this news. Like I said, the FDIC, I'm not sure if I'm getting um those like letters right, but I believe it's like the FDIC or something like that. They take care of people that have $250,000 or less. So if you have $250,000 or less, even if the bank goes bankrupt, you'll be able to withdraw that amount, because they basically just take over the bank, since the bank is bankrupt. Like right now, they took over Silicon Valley Bank, and they're just if anybody has 250,000 or less, they just allowing them to withdraw like their full amount, even though the bank doesn't have that money, because they're basically just funding it. The government is basically funding it, funding that so that people can withdraw their money. Because if they don't, that would just cause like an even bigger problem. Something like this occurred in 2008 with the Lehman Brothers. If you guys know about that, the Lehman Brothers was a bank also that also failed. I believe this one is the second failure, the second biggest bank failure. I believe Lehman Brothers was the first. So in 2008, something similar to this happened, but it uh it led to a very big crisis, the 2008 crisis. If you guys know about that, maybe you guys are older and you know, like you lived through it, or if you're younger, maybe you don't know. But the 2008 crisis basically just Lehman Brothers, the bank, they went out of business. A lot of people they were dealing with fraud. It was more serious, but basically they went out of business. A lot of people couldn't take their money out. A lot of the employees in Lehman Brothers, they lost their jobs. So it just made the economy horrible, and it just made the economy really bad. The government tried to step in. It was too much. They couldn't give out money to everyone, and it just it was so bad for the economy. Another thing, even if the government steps in, we're still like increasing our debt. Like, we're still taking money out from the government. You know, that shouldn't be used. So that is bad either way. Like, the government can step in and give people their money, so it can like help the economy technically, but it's also harming in the economy because we're taking debt. We have to pay more things now. The government has to pay more things. So either way is a bad situation. So you might be questioning now, like, oh, banks are not safe. What should I do? Like, there's no hope. And you also might say, oh, what if something like 2008 happens again? And now my opinion on that is that it's possible. Um, if you go on YouTube or anywhere right now, you probably hear like a million opinions about like, if a crash is coming, if this is such a big deal or whatever. Um, but we never know what's gonna happen. Like, when it comes to the economy, like we can get an idea. Um, I'm an economist. I'm not. Well, I don't know if I want to call myself an economist because I'm not fully done with my degree, but technically I am pursuing a career in economics. So I mean, I am very like aware of like the social economical state of the United States and all that. But even me, like, who has like, I don't want to say like I'm an expert. There's people that know way more than me. There's people that are actually like economists that have graduated, that are in the field of economy, that that do this for a living all the time, they know way more than me, and they probably don't know what's gonna happen in the future. We never know what's gonna happen. So the best bet is that you're always safe. You're always like safe about how you use your money. Don't go crazy with investing in like crypto and all these things. Like you're make sure that you have a safety net. Um, and if you are somebody that has less than $250,000, I say like it's not a big deal. Like you don't need to worry about the banks going like bankrupt and losing all your money. Now, if you are somebody that has $250,000 or more, then in that case, you can consider like other options. Maybe go to an international bank or a bank like do you do some research and find a bank that's been doing business for like years, and make sure that they're like they'll stay in business like for sure, or like you're like really comfortable with that. If you're somebody that has $250,000 or less, just stay like with any bank that offers you that protection for the FDIC, because you'll be fine. Even if the bank goes bankrupt, you'll be fine. Um, so yeah, guys, that was my opinion on this matter, and I just want to talk about it because I thought it was interesting. It caught my attention. Moving forward, I will be discussing more about this, like finance news and all that. And if that's something you're interested in and you want to stick around, please, subscribe and let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching.